Okay, we're back once more for another Solforge draft. Let's check out what we've got here. Metasculpt can do some good things in Constructed, but it's not really the kind of removal you want in Limited. I've said before, I'm not big on the avatars, and the more I see them, the less I like them. In draft, that is. Phytobomb. Phytobomb is an interesting card. It's definitely a really fun card that I'd like to mess around with for a fun one of these drafts. But I don't feel like it's necessarily actually good. Energy Prison is interesting. I feel like it's probably better removal in draft than Metasculpt. Master of Elements is a very good card. The stats are good. It can also be in some pretty fun decks. However, since we did that very recently, I think that the most tempting pick here is Solforge Titan. So it's a question of, do you want to go really deep and try to do something weird with Phytobomb? I think this time I just want to do a nice control deck with Solforge Titan. Just a nice solid deck. See how controlling we can get. So we want a deck that is very good at staying alive. Stormcaller can successfully block pretty well. Grove Huntress is also a very good survivability creature, and it's just good for value. You can affect a lot of trades beneficially and so on. I think I'm going to take the Grove Huntress just because it is good throughout the game. I like Uterra. It's a very solid creature. Stormcaller is pretty good, but it levels less well, and I'm not entirely sure that's where we want to be. Feral Instinct is good. I like having one of. Necrovive is a card that I would prefer to never play unless I'm just doing it intentionally for fun. Spectre is a card that has grown on me quite a bit. The stats are pretty reasonable, and the mobility is very key. But right now, I think Huntress is the best card. Right, Vault Technician is the card that levels best. It can trade pretty reasonably. So it is defensive in that way. Cavern Hydra is a card that I keep wanting to be good, but it's just not nearly as good as, for example, the mobility similar 4/7 Allloyin creature. Oxidon Spitter is a card I like having one of in my deck. Strength in numbers is good, but in a deck that is not a Solforge Titan deck. So I'm going to go ahead and play Technician. Alright. I think Enrage is the card that goes best with Armor, which could easily be this deck. So I think I'm going to take that. Tech Upgrade can be very good on some of the large Uterran creatures, but I think I'm going to focus on what's best with Armor. Alright. I like the Alpha. It's actually growing on me a little bit, even without Jetpack, given that we've got the Titan. Alpha is just a very efficient body to help us stay alive, and Hunting Pack is not the kind of coin I want to flip. Okay, Deepwood Bear Rider is pretty good at trading once you get it past level 1. Question is this Alpha here better? If we go deep on the Alphas, we could potentially go for Jetpack. Here, I think I'm actually going to take the Bear Rider. Aegis Conscript is fine, but I want to be able to trade, which Bear Rider lets us do more proactively. Wildwood Sower is okay in the spell deck, but again, this isn't that deck. I'm not entirely sure this is a free spell that I actively like. I will play some, but I'm not a big fan of Energy Surge, especially in draft. And Nexus Core is a card that I don't ever want to play. Okay. Scythian Augmentation is the best of the free spells. Sparkblade Assassin is fine. The 12-13 at level 2 is very, very good for keeping alive and trading and all those things. Gemhide Basher can take care of problematic cards, though. It is kind of like removal, however, it's removal that at worst you get to play as a creature. So I think I'm going to take that over the Sparkblade Assassin, although I think it's close. Okay. I'm reasonable on Cadaverous Thicket. I actually kind of like it, although I think Alpha's probably better. The question is, should I go with the Bear Rider or should I take another Alpha? How are we doing on level 1 creatures? Because obviously Bear Rider is fine at level 2, but we want creatures that we can play at level 1 if we're behind. I think as a result, I'm going to take the Guardian Alpha. Alright, another Basher would be fine, another Enrage would be fine, but Grove Matriarch is an awesome card, good at all levels for our deck, good at keeping us alive. I would play at least 20 Grove Matriarchs in this deck. Always happy to pick up a Vault Technician in basically any deck. Alright, couple of interesting options here. The 3 interesting options are Matrix Warden, Forgeplate Sentry, Nexus Pilot. Matrix Warden is a great value creature. It can trade very well with anything, again, and it can also buff other things to trade. Forgeplate Sentry is another nice late-game win condition. Nexus Pilot is a slightly less good win condition that is actually solid at all levels. I didn't think I would, but I'm a little bit tempted by Nexus Pilot. Obviously, Forgeplate Sentry is a very good, hard to remove creature. However, the first 2 levels are a bit lackluster. Let's look at these 2. So, Matrix Warden becomes a 22-12, essentially. And it's even better than that because instead of being a 22-12, it can be a 12-12 with something else having that extra power. Whereas this would be a 16-20. I think the Matrix... Whoa, that's not what I wanted. I think the Matrix Warden gets the slight nod here, but I'm not entirely sure that that's correct. We'll see, though. It is good at all levels, though, so I feel pretty okay with picking that up. Grove Huntress is just another nice value creature. Alright, here I will gladly pick up my Nexus Pilot. Again, I really like having them. Again, Grove Huntress is a very strong pickup, probably better than Assassin. Between these 2, I don't want either one. I will take Stasis Warden just because I can block with it if I need to. I'm not anticipating having armor on too many things, judging by the list we're seeing here, so Bulwark Bash is probably never going to do anything. Alright, Light Shield Patrol becomes okay. Again, Alpha's fine. Jetpack would activate our 2 Alphas that we already have, but I think that the interesting pick right now is between Metamind Adept, which helps us dig for our Scrapforged Titan, or Lightbringer Cleric. Cleric is nice at helping keep us alive against some of the other decks, but I think we want the Metamind actually, so that we can dig for the Titan. Plus, it's about it's a very similar body. Definitely like the Technosmith here. Helps us get some of our creatures up to the levels we need them. Matrix Warden is again a very good pick. Given how late in the draft we are, we've got enough duplicates of things that our deck is going to be fairly consistent, it feels like. Metasight would be nice, but I think it's more important to just take a nice, solid Sparkblade Assassin so we've got some level 2 power if we have an opportunity to level up. Sometimes Ghost Gale Cobra can trade well. I would definitely like a Jetpack here for Alphas, so I'm hoping to pick one up soon. But Fangwood Ravager is probably the safest pick. It levels just fine. It's just a good creature. Bright Tusk Sower is almost identical to Grove Matriarch in its effect on the board at all levels, which is just nice to have. It feels like our deck is not entirely built around the Titan, just because we did kind of build a stall deck. However, we built a stall deck of cards that are pretty reasonable. So that's nice. Alright, Sower here, probably. Again, not the spells I would like. I would like to pick up a Jetpack. I will take the... actually, we don't have the armor creatures where Enrage is best. Perhaps I'm better off taking the tech upgrade? Tech upgrade is good when things have high toughness. Looking at our deck, not that many of our creatures actually have that high of toughness. It's more often high attack. However, which I guess Enrage is better because it levels up to have bigger numbers. I have one Matriarch, one Sower. Ravager's fine with it. Yeah, I think I'm probably better off with the Enrage, although it's pretty close. Light Shield Patrol is fine, especially with the couple of Enrages we've got. I could see this one going either way, but I'm going to take the Stag just to gain a little life in case we need it. Venom Fang is another nice value creature. I tend to draft the value creatures fairly highly. The value creatures being things like Matrix Warden, the Matriarch to a lesser extent, although I'm thinking more things with the Enter the Battlefield triggers like Venom Fang, the Grove Huntresses. Here I'll be happy with the War Charger. War Charger wears the Enrage as well. It benefits well from the Grove Huntresses. That would have actually done well with the tech upgrade, but it's fine with these. Alright, the Sower is again another safe, fine value pick. Decreasingly likely that we will get our jetpacks that we want, but ironically I'm listening to a band called We Were Promised Jetpacks, which... Alright, while it's not a jetpack, Sower is a very strong card. Okay, so this deck is much less about the Solforge Titan, although that can potentially win us the games, as it is just good, strong value creatures. So we will be back with our Value Town deck in a moment.